can't beat Italian bread. There are certain meals that if you haven't got Italian bread with it, it's not a proper meal. And Italian bread is different to others, so fantastic. But yeah, people are interested. It's a good little story actually. Might be one worth telling on the program one day. But yeah, it's in 2 parts on your website.
That's right. There's a
which is Capital Productions.
Capital Productions, yeah.
.com.au, and yeah, you'll see just on the home page there, you'll see a couple of areas where you can just click, and it'll take you through the video story of Vastesi Bakery. Vastesi, sorry.
We'll teach you.
Yeah, I can swear well in Italian, but I'm not so good at some of the other words. Now, this book, A Pictorial Parade of WA, is 248 pictures spread over 100 odd pages. In, I think they call it A4 landscape, don't they, when
Correct.
it's done that size?
Yeah.
And they're all historical. Most of them are from the 19th century. And I think we talked about this last time you were in. Your interest in history came from when you were in school in Albany, and it's just got stronger and stronger, it seems.
Yes, I think it's the age has got to do with it stuff. Yes, no, history's always been a charm of mine, and back at Christian Brothers College in Albany, I was interested in Captain Cook and everything else. And over the years, slightly interested, not as much as I have been in the last several years, last probably 10 years, but really the yearning came virtually when in 1996 I was asked if I could get a rock out of Kalgoorlie to go to Vasto in Italy, in Abruzzi, for a particular chap, because he came out here in the 40s, worked at the Kalgoorlie mines, and then he went back to Italy, and when he went back there, his yearning was, before he departed this earth, that he would like to get a rock to commemorate the Italians from that particular region. Anyhow, I had a phone call one day and said, look, they tried before and it wasn't successful. I had a phone call one day and they rang me and I said, look, there's a guy over there, XYZ, and it happened to be from the same region, which I'm a Brutzers. Don't hold that against me. And anyhow, I said, yeah, well, look, I'll see if I can, whatever I can do, whatever the costs are. And when I found out it was from the region I was born in, I said, look, as far as my time's concerned, I'll donate it, that's it. But to get the rock back here, to go to a mine site, because you just can't go to any mine site and pick one up.
No.
I happen to be doing a documentary for another family, which are an old family from Kalgoorlie, which is the Nash family in Kalgoorlie, was doing their company history. And I said, look, this is what we need, can you help? He says, yeah, we're working at one of the New Celebration gold mines. Yeah, no worries, we can help you out. And they said, yeah, come along. And so I said, pick a rock. We picked a 5-ton rock. Oh. We got the Mayor of Kalgoorlie to do the official handover, and then I said, well, I need to transport, how much it's going to cost us. Give this guy a ring. He happens to be an Italian, so I rang him and said, this is what's happening. And he said, yeah, no, we'll backload it for you. How much? He said, no, free of charge. So we had the rock delivered to Fremantle in a container off to Italy, and it's in a park in Italy, in Vasto. They're commemorating virtually Kalgoorlie and
the link with the Italian miners.
So
yeah. Oh, fantastic.
That particular time, then I went to the, Sunday was a day like today, not 40 odd, but around about 38. I went to the Kalgoorlie cemetery, to the old Pioneers cemetery. I came across James Balzano, and that what really sparked everything.
The Canano Barrow man.
That's exactly
There's
right.
a great photo of him in the book, and his story is a remarkable one, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think he walked to Esperance, didn't he? I think you say in the book he walked to Esperance because he wanted to swim.
That's correct.
He wanted to go to the beach and then walk back to Canano over some period of time, I would think.
Absolutely.
But no, it's fantastic. So, when did you started collecting photos from that time?
Well, I started collecting photos from, sort of a hobby way. How people collect stamps. I was collecting old photographs, and people would give me old photographs from all over the place. Rebuilt them, and then once the computers came out and digital came out, just made a bit of this. So I'd spend virtually the weeknights in winter rebuilding photographs, digitally enhance them, and cutting out virtually the cracks and the fading, and slowly rebuilt them over that period. And then one thing just led to another, and I thought, okay, this year it has to come out.
Yeah, well, you've got it out and just in time for the end of the year, and there's no copyright issue with these. Obviously, I guess that over a period of time they come out of copyright, because you don't even know who took most of them, do you?
That's exactly right. Look, even my photographs, I've shot thousands of photographs for mining companies over the years. My photographs will come out of copyright after 50 years. So there's nothing much I can do about it. That's the law. So these photographs were photographers, probably just like me, in that time, going around taking happy snaps of family photographs of activities where they were going. So my idea there was to have a new, fresh innovation in a book, and virtually just show the story in illustration. As I say, every picture tells the story, so it's virtually the picture will tell you what those people's lives, and it's frozen in time when that photograph was taken. So that's the way I can describe it, probably.
Yeah, and some of these are eras in time where we know very little about as far as what it looked like, but there are many books about these subjects, but not too many of them contain the photos of the early part of the middle part of the 19th century. And you've kind of, there's sepia, there's black and white, there's some colour. Some of them look like they've been hand coloured, others must have been very early colour photographs.
They were the original black and whites, and then when they start hand colouring various photographs, and that's, you'll see a few of them there. And what I wanted to show is also the fashion. You can see the fashion and people, and
There are.
the work ethics, the work they were in, environment they were in.
Mundaring weir and the pipeline itself.
That's right. That's another story in itself as well. But yeah, no, and again, it shows you how people worked and conditions they worked.
Yeah. The Kalgoorlie Stock Exchange was also made of tin. But there it is.
You like the prospectus there?
Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they? There's Jimmy Belzano with his barrow and all his gear on board. Just fantastic. Blokes on bikes, blokes just carrying stuff. And yeah, the pipeline, the construction of the pipeline is great, and then the photos of the opening at Mount Charlotte Reservoir in Kalgoorlie of John Forrest turning on the water. And on that particular occasion it worked, and it still works today. That pipeline still provides water for the goldfields and the agricultural areas along the way, as it has now for over 100 years. But some fantastic photos of Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie, and the pubs there, the buildings there, and the way people lived and worked. And just incredible. Right there, there's the butcher with the meat hanging outside.
What do you think? That roads are full of salt?
I reckon it would be, wouldn't it?
One thing is, days like today or tomorrow, can you just imagine those hanging on outside?
Not really. I can imagine the flies coming from a million miles away to get to them.
Must have been healthy.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the referendum for federation, whether Australia should federate as a nation rather than a collection of colonies. And a lot of Victorians, of course, came over to work on the goldfields in Kalgoorlie, so they were pretty strongly in favour of it up there, but not so much down here.
That's right. Well, you'll see the results there, virtually.
Yeah, they're all the big
and
results.
See, yeah, and Kalgoorlie looks like Kalgoorlie, Coolgardie, where a lot of those miners were.
Yeah, well, Yilgarn was 464 and 138 against, but you look at some of the others in Swan, the numbers were against federation. And Sussex, I'm not sure where Sussex would be.
Sussex was, I believe, was around about York or up that part of the world.
Tujay were very strongly against it up there. But yeah, you can look at all the areas. Perth was in favour, East Perth was in favour, North Perth was in favour, West Perth was in favour. The Pilbara was very much in favour, but some of the other areas not so. But it was carried at least, and we became Australia. And we became a nation, a federation, rather than a collection of colonies. But there's a number of great photos associated with that. And then you move on to land, and gee, how tough was life for those blokes? Opening up the country here in Western Australia, preparing land, seeding, harvesting. There's ads there for equipment. You see the big teams of horses, eight across.
That's 8 horsepower.
Yeah, that's right. Pulling ploughs, pulling harvesters, and the transporting and storage of the wheat. It was all bags.
That's
it was
right.
Individual bags of wheat then. And there's a great photo of them loading the ship in Fremantle, at the port in Fremantle, isn't there?
That's right.
Somewhere in here. It's 20 minutes to 10 here at 6pm. We'll take a break. We'll come back and talk to Lou more right after this.
From New Year's Day, the event of the West.